Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to the EVS class. How are you all? I hope you all are very good and healthy. And I would also like to share that I'm very happy after our live session yesterday. I'm personally very happy with the interactive session that we had, and obviously since we were meeting for the first time, I hope you all also enjoyed the session as much as I did. Now, coming to the last chapter of the syllabus for PT1, that is chapter 4. So today we are going to start with chapter 4. Now, first of all, let us know what is the name of the chapter. So, the name of the chapter is Floats, Sinks and Mixes. Now, what does the name tells us, or what do we understand from the name of this chapter? Now, from the name of the chapter, we just understand about what? We know that some things are floating, some things are sinking, some things are mixing. But what is that? Now, in this chapter, we are going to learn about different substances. Now, what kind of different substances? We are going to learn about different substances and their reactions with different liquids. So, let us know what are the things that we are going to learn in this chapter. And along with that, in today's class, we will also know about how this chapter will help in our day-to-day life. Okay? So, first of all, let us know about the learning objectives. In this chapter, we are going to learn about, as I told, different substances. Now, what are those different substances? We are going to learn about the different substances that float in water, those substances which sink in water, and also those substances which mix in water. Now, what am I exactly talking about? If you think about salt or sugar, supposedly you take a glass of water and you put a spoonful of sugar in it and you stir it. You will see after a few minutes you won't be able to see the sugar anymore. So what happens to the sugar? Same goes for the salt as well. After some time you won't be able to see the salt in anymore. But when you try to drink that water, obviously you will get the sweet taste if you have added sugar, or the salty taste if you have added salt. Now, why is that? Because the substances have mixed in the water. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about which substances mix in liquids, which substances do not mix in liquid, and if they do not mix in liquid, then what happens to them? They either stay on top level of the liquid or they stay on the last level, that is they move down. Okay, they just go down and settle at the bottom of the liquid. So when the substances are floating, when do we say that a substance is floating? When the substance remains at the top level of the liquid, that is when we say that the substance is floating. And when the substance go bottom, they sink down to the bottom level, that is they go down and settle down at the bottom of the liquid, that is when we say that the substance sinks in liquid. So we are going to learn about on what basis a substance stays on top of the liquid or settles at the bottom or it mixes in the liquid. Okay. Along with that, we are going to learn about water. Now, as you can see in your screen, the fourth learning objective is what? Water, the universal solvent. Now, let me tell you something, children. Water is also known as the universal solvent. Now, you all must be thinking, what is this universal solvent? So, in this chapter, not only we will learn about different substances, but we will also learn about some keywords which will help us understand all these objectives. Solvent, the word solvent is just one of those words. We need to know the definition, the meaning of these words to understand the chapter properly. Now let's move on to the next learning objective. The next learning objective is solvents other than water. So what are the solvents? As I already told, that water, the universal solvent. That means obviously water is a solvent. So which are the other substances which are solvents? Also, we are going to learn about effect of heat on solubility. So before we can understand, before we can learn about these things, we need to learn about some keywords. We need to understand the meaning of some keywords. And in today's class, I'm just going to cover those words first. Okay? But before that, let us know how this chapter is going to help us in our everyday life. Now, this chapter will help us to know that which are the things, if we put on water, which are the things will go down and which are the things will help us float on water, or which are the things which will float on water. Now, God forbid, any day, any situation comes up in your life, you can always use this knowledge. You can always use this knowledge to, I would say, to safeguard yourself from any kind of dangerous or harmful situations. Or supposedly, let's say, I hope or I wish not, but I know that many of you might not be knowing how to swim. Even I don't know how to swim. But if any day, supposedly, even if, let's say, I just fall down in a swimming pool. I fall down, I'm sure you all know that a swimming pool has one part which is much more deeper and one part which is shallow where you can stand, and one part is there where there is more water. So obviously people who don't know swimming, for them it is quite difficult, right? So in this situation, then you have no one to help you out there. You are all alone maybe, and the pool has just closed and you fell down and you are not able to call, even when you are shouting, no one is hearing you. There is no one around. So first of all, I would suggest, do not ever go anywhere alone, and especially in this kind of situations, never do that. But just supposedly, we never know what kind of situation will come up in our life, right? So if you are there, this chapter is going to help you know that you can take the help of which substance. If there are no people around you, but obviously there will be some substances around you, and which are the substances that can actually help you come out of the water or help you float in the water, right? Also, we will get to know about what can be mixed, what cannot be mixed, and on that basis it is obviously going to help a lot. Now obviously none of you would try and, let's say, if we know the substances which sink in water, as the things sink in, the level of water will also come up. So maybe sometimes this technique can be useful to you. Also, sometimes it may be such that, you know, you can mix what substance with what to create something new. This chapter will give us a knowledge about mixing of substances to create something new. Okay, so before, and obviously I am going to share all those with you all as we move along the chapter. But for today, what are we going to learn? We are going to learn some of the keywords, okay, which are very, very important for this chapter. I'm not talking about the important words that I send you after with every chapter explanation. No, I'm talking about the keywords which you need to understand the meaning of these words to understand the whole chapter. Okay, so now let's move on to the keywords first. So first of all, we have dissolve. Now dissolve is another word for mixing. Just as I said that the sugar or the salt mixes in the water. But if I have to talk scientifically, what would I say? I would say that the sugar dissolves in the water. The sugar dissolves in the water. The salt dissolves in the water. If you talk about, let's say you all have Glucon-D, right? Now Glucon-D dissolves in water. Think till I do. Are you sure that Glucon-D completely dissolves in water? Are you sure about that? I'll come to that at the last. Till then, you keep thinking. And now, let us move to the next word, that is solute. Now you see, children, what is solute? The substance which gets mixed. In this case, we were talking about salt and sugar, right? So the salt and sugar which is getting mixed is called what? It is called as solute. And what is the solvent? The solvent is the liquid in which the solute is getting dissolved. Okay? The solvent is the liquid in which the solute is getting dissolved, is getting mixed. So solute is a substance which get mixed and solvent is in which the solute get mixed. So we put the solute in the solvent and we mix both of them. Okay. Now what is soluble? The more the solute, some substances can mix, some substances cannot mix. So those substances which can mix, which can dissolve are known as what? They are known as soluble. And the substances which cannot mix are known as insoluble. I have not written the word, but the substances, please remember, those substances which can mix are known as what? They are known as soluble. Now, and what is solubility? Solubility is the faster any substance can mix. Let's say that way. Okay. Solubility is basically the capacity of a substance to get soluble, that is to mix. What is solubility? Solubility is the capacity of any solute to dissolve in any solvent. Okay. Solute is what? Solute is a substance which get mixed. Solvent is the liquid in which the solute get mixed. Soluble is those substances which can mix. Insoluble is those substances which cannot mix. And what is solubility? Solubility is the capacity of a solute to mix or to dissolve in a solvent. And next we have solution. Now here, while explaining your solution or telling you about giving you a brief idea about solution, let me tell you, I just asked you that does glucon-D that you have dissolve completely in water? Now children, just think. You have the water, it is transparent. Yes. And you have the glucon-D, it is a powder. Now when you mix the glucon-D, if you take the orange flavor supposedly, or the other flavors also, but the lemon flavor, and there are so many flavors, but if I'm talking about even the lemon flavor will do the same thing. When you put the powder and you mix the powder, after that what happens? Can you see the powder anymore? No, you cannot see the powder. That means the powder has got mixed in it. That means the powder is soluble. But the color of the water remains the same. Does the water remain transparent? No. If you are having the orange flavor, then what happens? The water also becomes orange in color. If you take the lemon flavor, then the water becomes a bit blur, whitish in color, right? It becomes a bit whitish kind of a color. Yes. So why is that? Now this final product, when we are mixing a powder with the water and we are getting a orange color water, this is what? This is a solution. This is a solution. Okay. So solute, what is it? The thing that mixes. Solvent, the thing in which the solute mixes, the liquid in which the solute mixes. Soluble, substances mixing or dissolving in solvent. Solubility, capacity of being soluble, that is capacity of mixing. And what is solution? Solution is the new product that we get after mixing. Okay children? So children, I will keep here for today. Okay, in our next class I am going to show you a lot of practicals and we will do some activities together. Okay, I'll show you some activities, we will do some activities together so that you understand about these things much more properly. Okay children, so that's all for today. Thank you and have a great day. After this, I am going to send you what? I am going to send you the PDF of the learning objectives and the important question and the important words that you need to write, where you will be writing in your CW copy. Okay? In your CW copy. Okay children? So thank you and have a great day. Keep learning and stay at home.